Let's take a look at how to fix this proposal. This is actually not terrible, but let's see if we can get a better proposal from the software with regards to this particular restoration. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the images, and we always go to Window and the 3D Preview, and we want to look at our image catalog. Big buckle bite, I don't know that you need all these images. Lower model looks pretty good. There's a buckle roll so that we can see all this information, so that's good. And in the prep, looks like we've got a lot of pictures of the preparation and some images that are at an angle to take pictures of the contacts. And this is fine, but realize the more you do this, there's a chance that you can get some distortion on the model. So I always try to just minimize the number of images, keep it as simple as possible, and that really helps. So if we are to go back, if I was to do this case, I would go back here to the beginning, and I would go ahead and adjust the images so that I have as few images as possible. Otherwise you start getting this kind of distortion that you see over here. Okay, so I'm going to actually take out some of these buckle bite images because there really is a lot of them, and I don't know that we need all of these. And not that it hurts, I just like to keep it simple. The simpler it is, the less I have to deal with. Really like the lower models, but let's take a look at the preparation. Okay, with regards to the preparation, you can see all of this noise and data that's here. That's from all of those roll images. So I'm going to take a look and see which images do I need. This is good. This is a nice clean picture. Margins are clear. Everything looks good. A little bit of a shadow on the distal of the premolar, but not massive by any means. Here's the distal picture. Here's another distal picture, and I don't know that this second picture does anything for us other than give us a little bit of a buckle roll. But when it gives us a buckle roll, we get a shadow on the lingual of the prep. So I'd probably get rid of image number 6. I don't think that's needed. Same thing with image number 7. The little buckle roll on that premolar, probably not needed. And as we do that, we're starting to clean up some of this stuff. This is where you need the roll, where we've captured that buccal information, so that's good. Here is the mesial of the distal tooth. That's okay, although I'm not a huge fan of these roll shots. You can certainly take them. Here is the distal of the mesial tooth and getting the contact. And here's image number 11, which I don't know that it adds anything to our case, so let's get rid of it. The more we can clean up, the better off we are. Okay, and looks like we're missing some data here. That's where that issue comes along. So minimize your images. Don't have too many images because it just leads to trouble down the road. Now the buckle bite matching should be fairly simple. So when we go ahead and move forward, we'll be able to match up our models and mount the models on the virtual articulator. And if you don't take the proper images, this process can become hard, but I want you to just be very, very simple about this. I actually like to take my images before the prep, or I'm sorry, after the prep, so I can capture a little bit of the preparation. But you can see here, it doesn't really matter. Even though that there's a prep tooth here, the software still does a good job because we've got 2 teeth in front with regards to the buckle bite stitching. This might be a little bit of a challenge because if you can see over here, there's a lot of detail missing, so be careful when you do that roll shot. Make sure you get plenty of good information, and we are good to go. Okay, so the model's mounted. Here's the pre-op. It can help us with our pre-op contours if you take the buckle bite ahead of time. So no real right or wrong way. It's really a matter of preference. I usually do the buckle bite afterwards, but nothing wrong if you do it ahead of time. So I'm going to draw my margin. Margins look pretty good. A little bit of roughness on the preparation, but not the end of the world by any means. We're going to draw our margin. I'm going to hit the space bar. I'm going to go to the manual margin mode and finish drawing out the margin. And there's our margin. Now, always review your parameters. Make sure we have the right parameters, and I don't want my minimal thickness to be too high. And the occlusal offset for crowns, I like it about -175. Okay, margin thickness, I'm at about 75, 50 to 75 for a crown with a big old shoulder, as you see over here. This is the most critical part. Adjust your insertion axis. Your model should be going horizontal completely. And as I adjusted, the more off kilter I am, the more work the software is going to have to do to design my proposal. So once I get my proposal, I'm going to take a look at it. If it's close enough, I'm just going to simply use my design tools and make any small changes. If it's really needs a lot of work, then what I might do is just say, okay, I don't like that proposal. My height of fissure is 1.12, which is a little bit narrow, but this is a proposal that we can fix. So I'm going to show you two ways to fix it. One, as you can tell, we really are out of occlusion, so I'm going to position the whole thing up. I'm going to position the whole thing to the mesial so that we can balance this restoration and maybe tilt it just a little bit. Okay, height of fissure is 1.12. Now we're in occlusion. I'm at 1.21. I'm going to raise my central groove. Okay, 1.51. That's a little bit better now. With regards to the cusps, a very simple thing to do is just click on cusp settling. Cusp settling, when it's just that cusp that's out of whack, I can go ahead and hit it. Takes it out. You want to make sure you adjust your green spot here. Okay, I don't want that, and make sure you have Control Alt F8, your extended colors. That tells us that we are not out of occlusion.